Guys, so we're gonna be going over the best way to make racks on the Real app. If you guys don't have the Real app, then you guys could always use my referral code. It is you just go to the referral. It's Copious Highlights, and basically I'll leave that little link in my bio. But you guys will get 200 free racks whenever you guys sign up using my code. And if once you click on a game like this game, a live game, it'll give you that 200 racks, which will let you buy a player. And now let's get into what's the best way to make racks on the game. So let's assume you just got that 200 free racks, or maybe you have 0 racks, and if you don't have any racks, you're gonna have to get a lot of karma, which is, as you can see, at 33.1k karma, 1.9k racks. I save a lot of my racks because, first off, you don't really want to do NFL at this point in the year because there's only one game left after this week, and this game's currently going on. Like, for example, Lamar Jackson's 83 racks. And then when you talk about a defensive guy like Belton, he hasn't really been that great this year, but he's already had 140 racks. And then you had James Conner, 78. And then a guy like Rasul Douglas. And so what we're going to talk about is basically the best way to make racks on like a daily way is to do these investments that people do. And so really NFL's tougher. And if it's early in the season and you see a guy go off and maybe make 120 stubs in a day on defense, he's a good player, then you'd want to buy them because you would get that same day, because you get the 120 subs back. It costs you 200, so you'd lose 80, but you'll probably have it where they'll continue to make racks over time, and you'll be able to profit over time, which is always the goal when you buy a player, unless you're just buying your favorite player. But when we go to college football, now this is where you can make some really good racks right now. Bowl games, they boost players' racks made. And so when we look at, I think it was Friday, this guy right here, Barryon Brown, he made 311 racks that day. So you would have spent 200 racks that day, and you would have made 111 racks, which is profit. So you get those 311 racks. I think I bought every single guy who went over 200, except don't buy one. Like, you'll see if they have racks, that means they're an offensive player. For college football, they don't do it for defensive players for whatever reason. I don't even know if you could buy their card. Yeah, you're not allowed to. But he's like, these 4 guys made me profit. And then we look at yesterday, Saturday, at the time of recording this, I only bought Dart. He's the only guy who went over. It was actually kind of sad because I think it was, yeah, no, it wasn't. Like Ole Miss Penn State game was actually crazy. Same for Georgia FSU. It's just in the Georgia game, they really spread the ball around. Like, there's a lot of guys who definitely could have hit that 200 racks amount, but it just didn't happen. There's just, they benched a lot of their guys later on in the game because they're beating them so much. But when we go to tomorrow, which is January 1st, Happy New Year's, there's going to be a lot of games on tomorrow, and something's really good is that Alabama, Michigan, and then Texas versus Washington. If you see a guy go over or even get like close to that 200 mark, like let's say it's like Quinn Ewers or Michael Penix gets really close to that 200 marks, then after the game, whoever won, you should buy them because they will be playing in the next game, which means there's going to be one more game left, and they're going to get good racks from that game. So if it's like even a guy who goes like 180, like let's say Washington wins this game and Michael Penix Jr. makes like 180 racks, and they won that game, and after the game you could buy and you'll get that 180 racks back, and then it will only cost you 200, so you'll lose 20 racks, but he'll be playing in that national championship game. Remember, only if they win this game, they'll be playing the national championship game, and it would make complete sense for Washington to at least, have Michael Penix get over 20 racks. So you'd probably profit. So when you look at, I have 1.9k racks still used tomorrow, or I'll probably have over 2,000. I have the Magic playing today, and I have a lot of boosters on that, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Yeah, I'd be making so many racks off of him because if he gets 180 or even goes 200, it's all profit from there, and it's going to be really good. And I don't remember exact date when. Let me look this up. College football championship This is let me see when it is time, and it is it doesn't say right here, but I think it's like in a week or two after these games. So you want to be waiting too long, and especially if you have lots of racks like me, it's a good investment. But if you don't have that much time, then just buy the guys who go over 200 racks that day because that is a great investment. I think Oregon versus Liberty. Bo Nix is playing this game. Would not surprise me if this guy went over 200 racks. This is his last game playing at Oregon. They're not playing for anything else but then to win this game. And I think Bo Nix will play out the game, very much of it, because he wants to. And then LSU versus Wisconsin. I know I don't Jaden Daniels is playing. I don't remember if Malik Neighbors is, but even then I think LSU could really beat up on Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's a pretty bad team in my opinion. Bama versus Michigan. I don't know who's going to score a lot for Alabama. It could be Jalen Milroe, but I don't really love any of the receivers going crazy. But it's just look who does good. JJ McCarthy usually does pretty bad for the most part. Like he's a good system quarterback in my opinion. But if he gets to that 180 mark or 200, then yeah, buy him for the next game if you have the racks. If he goes over, buy him for sure. But like over the 200 racks. But if he doesn't, just don't. And then when we look at that's like the best way in my opinion. If they go over 200 racks that day, buy them. You make all your racks back and you make profit. And you can actually wait till after all of these games and then pick out the players that went over 200 racks. So let's say you only had 400 racks or 200 racks. You could get the one that made the most racks and you'll get your racks back tomorrow plus that extra racks. As you can see, I own a lot of players, but these are the guys who I have been buying. And these are like a lot of them. I bought 5 total, and all of these guys profited me racks. Now, if we talk about, making racks in the future after these college football bowl games, then we're looking at the NBA and NHL. Now, I'm not an NHL fan, and I really don't know much about it for the most part. I'm not very good at it, but I will be doing a video later on about the best players to buy for NHL. I will be doing a look into that, and because you can actually make quite a bit of racks off these. Like, look, this guy made 18 today, and now, yeah, you're not going to make all your racks back at once on players like in the NHL or NBA, but since there's so many games through a season, you can just make a lot of your racks back over time. And we look at a guy like Trae Young. He's made 4 racks today. It's only the second quarter, so he could get up to like about 12 to 20 racks. That's usually where he goes. We go back to yesterday on Saturday. Dante DiVincenzo had 27 racks made. Tyrese Halliburton, which is one of the best players to buy, 19 racks made. And this is talking like 72 games in a regular season plus playoffs where they make more extra. That's a great investment. I wouldn't buy guys like Anthony Davis, LeBron James, guys who get injury prone, because they will skip games, and it's really just about making your racks. And Anthony Davis, he's already had an injury scare this year, and luckily it wasn't severe, so he was able to come back pretty fast, but it was a little scary for him. And then we talk about guy like Cade Cunningham. He's so good and he doesn't get injured a lot. And this guy is a guy who plays on a bad team for the most part, and he's going to get a lot of shots up. As you can see, it's like 20 shots last game. Got to the foul line a lot. That's a great investment. And then once you start getting some of these guys like Tyrese Halliburton, Luka Doncic, which is another great one in my opinion. And if we even go back to Friday, there's a lot of really good ones, like Devin Booker is always good. Kevin Durant's a guy. He does good, but I don't buy him because I'm scared he's going to get hurt. And then we got De'Aaron Fox. Sengun's been really good this year. He's kind of underrated, and he's a center who gets a lot of points, rebounds, assists. He's usually really good. Same thing for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He always gets a lot of points. And then Donovan Mitchell is usually pretty good. He's been a little hurt this year, so he missed a couple games earlier, like maybe like 6 or whatever. But for the most part, he's been good. And then Jokic is like the best one by far. He always gets racks. And now when we go to, once you start getting some of these guys that you want to keep, you can start adding some of these play cards. Now, as you can see, like for a guy like, don't ignore the nickname, but Franz Wagner, which is not a guy who I like promote you using or getting, but I'm an Orlando Magic fan. And as you can see, once you start getting a lot of players from a specific team, you can get these play cards. So if we go to play cards for NBA, you get these from packs, but you can also get them just from watching games. Now you won't get a ton. You won't get a ton unless you get some packs. Now, during the Christmas special, they had like these free packs you could get from looking at different games. Now I don't know when they'll do that again, but once you start stacking, as you can see, I have tons of Franz cards right here. Like I have like 7 right here that are all the same, and you can stack these cards, and that's how you upgrade your player. And so let's say he gets 10 Raxs in that game, it'd be 20. Let's say he gets 20, it'd be 40. Now it goes from basically common, which you have your general, so that's just a 1 times multiplier. This is when you buy the card, which if you want to buy a card, I forgot to talk about this, but let's say you wanted to go to buy a card, you would just go click on the player's icon, and then you go 2023, 2024, and then you say get card. Now, I'm not going to buy Jared Allen because I don't really want him. I'm trying to save my stubs for the MLB season, which will be coming in March, and then I'm also saving them for tomorrow because there's 5 bowl games going on. Now, I may buy Jared Allen in the future. Terry Rozier is actually a pretty nice one to get too. But when we talk about, upgrading cards back to it, you can upgrade these cards from general to common to uncommon, which is green. That's a 1.4 times to a 1.2 to 1.4 to 1.6, and then it takes you to a 2, and then a 2.5, and then a 5 times, and then a 10 times, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, you can get some pretty good stuff from doing this, but yeah, so yeah, and then if let's say you're gonna stack a team. Now, Orlando Magic's not the greatest team to do. They've been pretty good this year. They're like a top 10 team in my opinion. Their record also, like if you did the Wolves win a lot of games. Same for the Nuggets, who have also been really good. Like those are the 2 best teams for it, but you can get so many racks. Like, so this is 37 racks. I got this on a 1.6, not a 1.8, a 1.6, or not a 2 times at 1.6. I got a 1.6 multiplier, I'm pretty sure, for this, and it gave me 37 racks in a game of the Magic. Now these cost 800 a piece. These team cards, they cost 800 racks, which is quite a bit. So you may not be able to do it immediately, but if you have a ton of guys from one team and you're going to get a huge multiplier, that's definitely worth getting at some point. Only if it's a good team, though. Like, you're winning lots of games, it's definitely good. But, like, later on in the season, don't buy these cards because, well, you're not going to have as much time to make your racks back. So buy these earlier on in the seasons, and they'll be pretty good. Now, when we go to MLB, guys, this is something that I'm going to talk about more in the future. And then UFC, potentially, if they start adding cards for UFC, they haven't added any yet. And I don't really know how they would do the UFC cards because they don't fight for a while. So hopefully they'd be good. And then maybe they could be like a, like forever thing instead of seasons, because UFC just has like 294, 295, 296. Like, it's just fights. But when we talk about something like the MLB, which has 162 games in a season, like, this is just great. And then if they make the playoffs, they get these huge boosts. Like, Zach Gallen made 111 steps in 1 game. And, like, we're talking, like, you get this guy early on in the year, you're potentially making thousands of racks off this guy. Because, like, look at this guy. This guy made 1,964 racks. I know he had that multiplier, but he definitely didn't have that early on in the year. 2,415 racks, and especially like a team like the Rangers, they're going to be really good. Same for the Dodgers. Dodgers added 3 superstars in the offseason. They already had 2 MVP finalists, and then Walker Buehler's coming back, and then Bobby Miller should be good, better next year. And if we go to the regular season, I want to go to the regular season and show you guys this. This is not the regular season. Actually, it is because the Tigers played. But look at Acuna. Dropped 20 racks that day. Obviously, 3 for 4 is insane. So I got like Acuna, Mookie Betts, who was an MVP finalist, super good player, 18. Like, you're talking 162 games. These cost 200 racks a card. Like, 162 games. Let's say we do 162 times. Like, let's say it's just like Mookie Betts, and he probably gets like at least 11 racks a game, like on average. That would profit you 1,782. Not talking about postseason, guys, because a team like the Dodgers are going to make the postseason about every year. That's just an insane get. And then if we talk about getting like a guy like Shohei, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Tyler Glasnow, who I wouldn't get because he's injury prone, and then maybe a few other guys like Will Smith, who's super good catcher, hits bombs. You're talking like getting like maybe 5 to 7 guys, and then you could go buy a team card. Now I haven't really looked at guys who have team cards on here, but if maybe we can see in here if someone put their team card now. This isn't as easy, but let me look, see if anyone put their team card. Because sometimes these guys have team cards. Now let's see if this guy is he's probably not a MLB guy. He had the Braves. He made 1,804 off a 2.5 multiplier. Rangers 1822, and these cost 800 Raxs a card. But if you do this really early in the year, which I would do, so like when I think it's March 28th is when the season starts, I'm going to immediately buy the Rangers, the Mariners, and the Dodgers. The reason I'm buying the Mariners is because I'm a Mariners fan. And I'm going to buy Julio Rodriguez. I'm going to buy Christopher Romero of the Cubs. He's going to be super good this year. Remember that. And then, yeah, I know this video has been kind of long, but I'm just trying to give you guys some hints. So remember, let's go back over all of this real quick. So for tomorrow, you want to buy college football. You want to buy guys that go over 200 racks or get really close to make the college football championship game, because that'll be another game. And, they'll get like the same boost for making racks. Buy NBA, NHL. I will do a future video on the best NBA players to buy, the best NHL, and then in the future I'll do the best MLB, because MLB is where you guys are gonna make a ton of racks if you guys get in early on that. Hopefully you guys doesn't get injured, because that does happen sometimes, but that could happen for any sport. So just remember, buy guys from college football bowl games tomorrow, and then in the future, when there's a college football playoff game, which is the championship game. And then buy NBA, NHL if you're looking to buy guys then. And then if you get a lot of trade cards for their play cards to upgrade them, just try to get them to 1.2 or 1.4 multiplier. That's always good. Like getting it to 1.2 is just gotta get 10 points. And basically that's 10 points from cards that are play cards. And yeah, so that's going to be the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. And then if you guys want that free 200 racks, when you make an account, go click the link in my bio for my referral. And you guys will get 200 free racks, which can help you get your first player.